It was just be ready to play. First few minutes, I think I talked about this a couple days ago, was just our starts. We didn't have a great start, but we weathered the storm. We just didn't get a lot of their net, and we ended up turning the tide halfway through the first, ended up outshooting them. So they're a really good team at home. We get a power play goal early in the game, and it's been a big part of our success is our power play.
And when you get a guy like Sean Walker back, what does that do for the team emotionally?
It's a huge lift. Just having, a lot of players that have been coming back in the lineup the last few days have really made a difference in a lot of areas on the ice. Just having solid players that have a little bit more experience helps. I thought Walks played really good. Dubs was noticeable both nights, last couple. Much like when Royce came back a few games ago. So it's huge getting guys back.
Thanks, Brownie.
Next up is Zach Dooley.
Dustin, a lot of the attention goes to your power play unit, but the second unit gets a goal tonight. How big is it when you can have both, power play units firing like that?
It's huge. I think probably the last couple of games they've been a cleaner power play than us. Just somehow how it works some nights, but we have really good players on both units, and I think the other key to it is we kind of have a little bit of different looks on each one, so it's tough to defend because you got to adjust whether it's a Gabe's unit or Kopi's unit just because of how we run them.
And, in the third period, it seemed like you guys, at least for the bulk of it, tried to stay aggressive and tried to continue to create offense. Were you happy with the mentality that you guys took to that period with the 2-goal lead?
Probably about the first 10, maybe 10, 12 minutes, I thought we were really good. And then we kind of went into shell mode a little bit. We had way too much sitting back in the last probably 6 to 7 minutes of the game. Cookie had to make a lot of big saves. But sometimes that's how you got to do it. They're a really good team over there. They know how to come back in those types of games. But I thought we did, the one thing we did really well late was our line changes were short, and keeping fresh players on the ice allowed us to just gain a line and relieve some pressure.
Thank you.
Next up is Ken Campbell.
Hi, Dustin. Obviously, you guys have been on a roll lately. You're, I think, leading the Western Conference in goals with 10. Should we be surprised at how well you guys are doing this year? And should we be surprised that it's the veterans like yourself and Anjay and Drew and more recently Jonathan Quick who are kind of spearheading this revival here?
Well, I think first of all, it's definitely a team collective. Like I said, we just talked about those guys getting back in the lineup. There's huge parts of our team that we kind of weathered the storm while they're out, and we're getting more pieces back, and it really helps us. The surprise part, I think everyone probably is surprised outside of the room. I think we have a good team in there. I think we're kind of building on some of the momentum we had last year and the confidence. And to be honest with you, we have some young players coming in and kind of learning on the fly and doing a pretty good job of it. So you have a good veteran core group, and some other spots are starting to get filled in by some younger players, which is a good thing for us.
Is there a pride factor there at all with some of the veterans like yourself and Doughty, some of the guys that maybe people might have written off a little bit?
Yeah, I don't think it's the first time people have doubted players in this room. So it's a pride thing for sure. I think if you're not prideful, you're probably still not playing in the league. I think everyone has a little bit of that in them. It's like I said, though, it's more of a team collective right now than anybody. One guy or one group of guys. I think we're playing a pretty solid game. We're getting contributions from all four lines. And some guys are filling some roles. You look at our PK, we got guys that play a little further down our lineup, but they're huge parts of our PK. And it's the little parts like that of a team that make it really hard to play against.